So if you guys remember, I installed the Whirly Custom Fab transmission cooler thermostat bypass, mainly because I was afraid that the thermostat would fail. I had heard stories about it failing, and I had ran it last summer in the heat out around Las Vegas and California, and there was a couple of times that the truck got hotter than what I wanted it to. It didn't really overheat, but it got hotter than what I wanted it to, and I noticed the transmission temperature had really jumped up too. I think the hottest I ever saw it was I want to say 210 or 215, and you know, I just got to thinking about it. If that thing failed, it would be a bad day. And I did make a whole nother video on that, if you guys saw it. Now, what I've been wondering about is whenever it gets cold out, you know, in the winter time, is it gonna stay up to running temperature going down the road? You know, I do not know what running temperature is. I do not know what it should be, but I figure if it gets, I do have the thermostat in the glove box. If I need to, I can put it back in if I can get up in the negative temperatures or something like that, if I know I'm going to be running up there a lot. But if it just, for a trip, I would probably just put some cardboard in front of the grill where the transmission cooler's at. But anyway, this is the first experience that I've had with it being down in the single digits, and I wanted to show you guys how it did. 9 degrees outside temperature, and transmission temperature is at 88 degrees. So I am here in Middlebury. I made it back from California and picked a Jacksonville, Florida. Change of scenery, change of direction. I'm up here about where I'm headed to hook it up, and I'm probably not going to do a hookup video today. Y'all seen me do that quite a bit, and I'm just wanting to hurry up and get it hooked up and get out of here, so I probably won't do that today. You know, in that last video, you guys probably saying, you know, I didn't feel too good. I had to twist it up back to the first part of the video, and then I don't know if it's something I ate or what, but I just didn't feel good through the rest of the video. I started not to even put that video out. I started to just wait and do another one. But I was glad I did, because you guys know how to perk somebody up. That video got more views in the first 24 hours than any video that I have ever posted before. That was wild to me. I was mind blown watching the numbers go up. And the tips and the comments and all that stuff, like on my airbags where my airbag controller was malfunctioning, I got some tips on that. And then where the water was, I don't have the drain in the right place on the tank, and I can't turn the tank around because of where the ports are located on top. So that's a no-go. I tried to do that when I installed it, but I do have an idea. It'll be an upcoming video, and I think it's gonna work really good. So, wow. So I'm gonna go ahead and get hooked up, and I will talk to you guys again shortly. Yeah, I said I wasn't gonna record anymore, but sometimes you get here and this right here's happened. So this is my unit. I'm gonna check the rest of it out for damages and see if I can get some air in that tire. I got the trailer jacked up. Been trying to figure out how to get the spare tire down for about an hour and 20 minutes now to change the tire, and we've looked. One guy got here said it's this right here, and that wasn't it. That cranks the slide outs out. Another gentleman tried to help me, and he said it was one over here. It cranked the slide outs out. You're looking on a Solitude. This is a super tight fit, and I don't remember which one this is a super tight fit, but whenever you're changing the tire, you get in here with the kitchen and put the crank right through that drawer. Who would have thought that crap? An hour later, that crank goes through that hole. So now that I know that, I can go ahead and get the tire changed. Guys, this thing has literally kicked my butt tonight. At first I thought it was just going to be a low tire. The rest of the unit looks really good. I thought it was just a low tire. I went to air it up, it was off the bead. Went to try to set the bead, couldn't do it because it was too far off. Then like to have never found a spare tire. The reason I think that the tire was flat in the first place is when we took the valve core out trying to air it up, get more air into it faster, and the valve core was no resistance when I took it out. I don't think it was tight. So anyway, like I said, it looks really good other than the flat tire. Yep. And in case anybody ever needs to know, your hand crank's up there with all the other stuff in the front compartment. If you open this up, this is the outdoor kitchen area. The daggum crank for the spare tire is in a drawer under the sink. What the heck? You know, when you're looking at them when everything's froze over, you see that ice and it'll look like a big old scratch or something, but you gotta rub them on all up, make sure it's just ice. But like I say, whenever I talked to them, they said just change the tire and go with it, because they couldn't get me another tire until tomorrow, and they didn't have anything else on the board I wanted. So I about forgot these things right here, those jacks. I don't like them, but they're part of it we got to deal with. So once I got hooked up, I let it all the way down, and the jack wouldn't lift up high enough with that leg down to pick it up. So I had to take, you know, my airbag controller is messed up, so I had to take my air hose, air my airbags all the way up, and it took enough tension off with the legs all the way up that I could pull this pin out and slide this up. So if I wouldn't have had airbags, I still would have been a mess, because I wouldn't have been able to get the pressure off this pin to release it and slide them legs up. So I know most of the time this looks easy like a gravy job, but it kicked my butt tonight. So I finished up last night. I made it down to Glendale, Kentucky. Got a good night's sleep. Slept all woke up. Called in and told them, I called inventory because they were closed last night when I found the flat tire. And they transferred me to claims. And claims said, no, you did the right thing by changing the tire and going on, but you do need to stop somewhere and get it fixed, because if you pull in there with a spare tire on it, most dealers won't, but there are some that will charge to put it back the way it's supposed to be. And if you stop and get it fixed, we'll reimburse that. But if you drive it on in on the spare and then they charge us for it, then that gets passed on to you. So I'm definitely going to stop. I got a place. The Love's Truck Stop doesn't do stuff like that. They don't have any way to patch the tires on like car tires and stuff. They do big truck tires, but not small vehicle tires. So I called them and I told them what I had going on, and they said that they would air it up, get it back on the bead, and find out what's going on with it. And then if it's something that, I think it was just that loose valve stem, so I think I'll be fine from there. But if they do find a leak, then I will stop at like a Walmart or something and get it fixed, or somewhere. I don't like dragging the campers off into small parking lots, and that's a conundrum you get with this, is with the big truck stuff. It's really not that hard to swing into a Love's or a TA or somewhere to get a big truck tire fixed, but they don't do the smaller tires a lot of times. So, and if you're in a pickup or a car, it's not hard to get into a Walmart or a tire shop to get a tire fixed, but a lot of time, you know, it's aggravating dragging that big camper along. So it kind of puts you in a little bit of a predicament, because you can ask anybody that runs with me, I do not like getting off a beaten path with the camper. I like staying in the big parking lots and going into the truck stops, and you know, if it's made for a truck, there should be plenty of room for a camper, you know. So I don't know, we'll see what they can do with it up here, and I'm gonna hope for the best. I hope they fix it and say it has no leaks and I can put it back on going down the road, but we'll see. Wow, he's gassing on it. Maybe we'll get some entertainment out of that situation here in a few minutes between the C6 and the Dodge up here. I don't know why, but my truck is like drinking diesel today. It's showing 9.8, but it's to the point where I have literally looked under the truck. Wow, wonder where they're headed. Ghostbusters. It's literally to the point where I've looked under the truck 2 or 3 times to see if I had a leak. It just really seems to be going through some fuel. And I've not been running any faster or idling anymore or anything like that than what I normally do. And it shows on the dash I'm getting 9.7, which is about average with a big camper like this. So, I don't know if maybe I bought a batch of bad fuel, or maybe I didn't top the tank all the way off. That could explain it. Because it does get, when you're filling up one of these auxiliary fuel tanks, this one's got a vent. I know a couple of them have a vent, but they also have baffles inside of them. And I've seen them get an air bubble where you can top off both sides, wait a few minutes, shake the truck, and put another 5 gallons in. So, that's something I try to think about too whenever I'm topping off, is I fill mine from both sides, and it seems I nearly always get more fuel in it when I top it off from both sides. And if I pull the trigger on one and top it off, and they're both kicked off, and I'll top one off, go to the other side, top the other one off, and then go back to the other side and hit it again, it seems to hold a lot more, a lot more fuel. And I get why they do that. They don't want it completely packed to the brim, but it's still not, because if you ever look down inside of your fuel tank, there is a neck that sticks down in the fuel tank, and that is to make it where you can't overfill the tank. So right along, I just got a call from a tire man, and I had just called. I had like 8 or 9 30 seconds of tread left on these BF Goodrich KO2s, and something in the road. 8 or 9 30 seconds left on these BF Goodrich KO2s. Now, when I called him and I told him I was about ready for another set of tires, I think the legal tread depth is 4 30 seconds, so as long as you have 4 to 30 seconds, you should be good. But I don't like getting caught out on the road and being stuck at the mercy of having to put on whatever they want to sell me, or whatever they have in stock, or paying higher prices, something like that. I would rather buy from my tires, if I can, from the local people around the house. It's a little family-owned business that I've been doing business with for years. And I called him, and he said that he can't get the BF Goodrich KO2s. So I asked him what could he get, and he started naming off some tires I either hadn't heard of, or I had heard of them and ran them and I didn't care for. And I asked him, but he did come up with the Toyota Open Countries. He said he could have them for me by next Wednesday. So they're almost $200 more for the set than what the BF Goodrich KO2s are. And whenever he put in the mileage, I asked him, do you think they would get about the same mileage as the BF Goodrich KO2s? And he said, oh, they should do the same or better. He said, there's a lot of people really like these tires. And I'm like, well, I don't like change. If I get something I like to stick with it, and I don't mind the BF Goodrich. So he pulled up the statement from the last time I bought tires from him, the invoice, and he got the mileage, and I gave him the mileage that I have on the truck now, and he said, I've got right at 100,000 miles on these tires, on these BF Goodrich KO2s, and he was shocked. He said, that is crazy. He said, that's like a 40, 50,000 mile tire. That's, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing a good job at it. And I told him that, for you guys, I rotate the tires pretty much every time a truck stops. Every time I go home, the tires get rotated. If I can't make it home, they get rotated out on the road. I will pay to get a tire rotation done, and I will take time out of my day, because when you put on a brand new set of tires and you don't check them, I see people do it all the time. They put them on and they drive. But then whenever the steering wheel starts bouncing or the truck starts riding funny, they say, well, I hadn't had these on here no time. Them tires are junk. You got to rotate them. That's another reason why I stick with the single wheel over the dually. I can get a free tire rotation at a lot of the places up here in Indiana. You pull in and a lot of them will do it. I've heard people say that the same places will do it for free on a dually, but I've not had to check. But that is a lot to me, just to be able to pull in, wait in line, and get them. They rotate them. And Monteith's in Middlebury is a really good place. I really like them since I started using them. And I was going to buy my tires from there this time, but they couldn't beat the price, even with the tax, even because transporters get a lot of stuff tax-free in Indiana. So I asked them about that, and they said even after the discount, they still couldn't beat the price, you know. But that's why another reason I got turned on to these people a long time ago anyway, is because they have really good prices on their tires. I don't know how or why or what makes it that way, but that's why I've been a loyal customer so long for them, is because they always, it's right next to my house, and they always beat out the competition price or other people's prices. So anyway, I was kind of curious. This video may not come out until after I had the tires put on, but I'm curious as what to expect from the Toyota Open Countries. You know, do you guys have good luck out of them, bad luck out of them? I hear a lot of people saying that, are they worth the $200 extra that I'm gonna have to pay for them? You know, I don't know. I just know I always get nervous at change. I don't like change. So, but my buddy Mr. Tennessee says he thinks I like them. He said he likes them better than he likes the VF Goodrich's because he's ran both sets. A lot of other people that I know say that, you know, they like them. I was just curious what you guys thought about it. And another thing I kind of found was funny, it's like 28 degrees here right now, and last night I was up there rolling around ice, and I got cold. It took a lot longer than the video shows to figure out where I was really starting to feel really ignorant about it, because it's a spare tire. It's got a cable on it. It shouldn't be that hard to find. So after I asked 4 or 5 people did they know where that cable was, and nobody else knew either, that really made me feel better about myself. So yeah, I left, and a friend called me, and I said, they said, what are you doing? I said, I'm thawing out, I'm free. I got really cold up there. And they said, well, what was the temperature? I said, it was like 18 degrees out. And they said, I don't want to hear it. It is negative 19 where I'm at. So yeah, after that I felt like I was whining, so I shut up about it. But I will tell you this, if you are thinking about one of the heated jackets, I'm planning on making a video about the Milwaukee heated jacket, just some things that I wished I knew about it, pros and cons, because I love that thing. It's awesome. It saved my butt last night. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still cold, but from the waist down and my ears and my head and all that stuff was cold. But laying on the ice, rolling around on the ground, getting my jack in, you know, my jack under the axle and all that stuff, it made a massive difference, you know. So when I figure out what I'll make sure I got all the information I want to give on it, and then I'm going to do a video on that. If you're thinking about one, they're expensive, but when you compare them to like a Carhartt or something, they're really not that bad, I don't think. I'm very happy I bought mine. It's nasty. It looks like, that's another thing. I want to wash it and see how it acts in the washing machine before I do a review video, and see, does it shrink? Does it hold up good? How do you get the wires out of it? And all that stuff. But yeah, I felt like a whiny baby after they told me that, well, it's negative 19, and told me the wind chill, but I can't remember what it was. I'm like, yeah, well, maybe I need to toughen up a little bit. I made it to the Loves in Jasper, Tennessee, and they got me right in. Those guys were pretty awesome. Got me right in, got the tire, blew back up on the rim, bead set, valve stem didn't leak, and everything was good. They even put the tire back on the camper for me and sent me on my way. This is going through Atlanta later that night. I know the windshield's filthy, but I didn't have a chance to get it cleaned up. But the rest of the night was a pretty good ride. Well, there it is. I'm delivered in Orange Park, Florida. Everything went really good after the tire got straightened out, and it apparently was a leaky valve stem because it never leaked back down. So I delivered that unit. I haven't even scanned my paperwork in yet, but they said you could drop it at your own discretion, but after being there and actually looking around the place, the general RVs, if you're in a bind and you need to drop it with Indiana Transport, they said that they did let Indiana Transport drop them overnight, but I just don't trust it. I don't think that's something that I would do at that one in Orange Park. I mean, it'd probably be fine, but if something happens, you're liable for it. So I'm glad that I waited. And I did get in there about 10 o'clock this morning, pulled in, and it was super fast getting checked out. The gentleman that checked me in was awesome, and I wasn't there long enough to hardly even get the camera out, so that was a good thing. The load did pay $1.63 a mile. I can't remember how many miles it was. It was 1706, I think, was the pay on it, and I got fuel. I topped off in Stratford, Missouri. Went on up, picked up the load, made it down to Glendale, Kentucky, and I topped off again. I don't know why the truck used so much fuel between Stratford, Missouri, and Glendale, Kentucky, but it seemed, I don't think I filled the tank all the way up, because there's no reason I should have went through that much fuel that fast. But on the way down, I went all the way down from Glendale to deliver the trailer. Then I left there, and I'm going to make it home on the fuel that I have in my tank. So by the time I buy fuel again, I will already have another load on me, and that fuel will come out of the next load. So it cost me around $550. I think it was what I figured it was $550, within dollars of $550 to run that load. So 1706 minus 550 would be pretty doggone close to what I come out with. So I'm happy with that. I used to run into California, so that's the reason you take to California. California pays twice that much, and I guess I just like seeing the bigger deposits. But I've got some stuff going on at home that I'm probably going to try to stick around for this week, and then if I get a chance, I'm going to run up and grab another Florida and come down and deliver it. And then I don't know, I may run Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, stuff like that for a couple of weeks. Who knows? My mind changes on a whim. That is the one good thing about this job. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.